Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Sistrans here again. You'll have noticed recently there's a lot more people out on bikes, and this week we thought with the increase of people buying bikes that we'd give you some helpful tips and hints on how to buy a bike. First of all, you need to consider what sort of bike you want, as in what do you want it to do? Do you want it for commute? Do you want it for leisure? Do you want it just to go down to the shops? Once you've decided what sort of activities you want to do with your bike, then you just decide what sort of bike you want. The four main types are road bike. This is probably the fastest, but it requires a little bit more skill, so not great for beginners because it's going to be a little bit wobbly in the beginning because it's more sat forward. The next is a mountain bike, great for rough terrain, trails and that sort of thing, but with all the suspension, normally on a mountain bike, they're not great in the road because you lose a little bit of energy. Thirdly, there is a hybrid, which is somewhere between a road bike and a mountain bike. There's sometimes suspension, sometimes not, but it's a little bit more upright and allows you to see better on traffic. Lastly, there's a step through or a Dutch bike. This is probably the best for beginners because they're most stable. With the step through design, it means that they're great for people with less mobility or older, and they allow you to be much more upright, very comfortable position, and they're very fun to ride. Now you think you know what sort of bike you want, you need to decide where you're going to get it. There are three main ways that we would sort of think about, and that would be in a bike shop, online, or secondhand. We're not really going to focus on the secondhand today because there's a few more things you need to consider when buying a secondhand bike. Firstly, if you're going to buy a bike in a local bike shop, have a look online. Even during coronavirus, there are still bike shops open. Have a look, see where's local, see if you can go down and speak to the guys because they're the experts. They will know what they've got, what suits what you think you want to do, and ideally you want to try it. You want to have a go on the bike, you want to see what it feels like. It's a personal preference, so what I like you maybe not like, so go try, see what you like. Online is a bit more difficult because you can't necessarily try the bike, so read the FAQs, look at the size guides. There's different ways of doing it, so every manufacturer does it slightly different, so don't be afraid to shop around, compare prices, think about what you want from your bike, do your research. There's two other things to consider when you're buying a bike: the brakes and the gears. There's two main types of brakes that you'll see most often. There's caliber and disc. So caliber is easier to maintain at home because they're use simple tools. A multi-tool would have all the things you would need on it, but they might require a little bit more because those brake pads will need replaced when they wear out. The second one's a disc. There's a little bit less maintenance, but I would recommend going in a bike shop to do those if you don't know what you're doing with them because they're a little bit more tricky. Same with gears, there's two different types. There's hub gears and there's derailleurs. So your derailleur gears, the ones you see with the hanging down bit at the back, and they are better for home maintenance, but they probably require a little bit more. Again, you can look at YouTube videos, but I would go and get them maintained. Hub gears are totally enclosed in the back wheel. They require the least maintenance, but I would definitely go to a bike shop to get those fixed if you don't know what you're doing, because you can watch all the videos, but it's all totally contained, and if you're not sure what you're looking at, then get it. If you know what you're looking at, good job. Okay, so you've got your bike, you think you know what you wanted, there's some added extras for you to consider. Firstly is a helmet. It's not illegal required to wear one, but I would strongly consider thinking about getting one. Second one is if you are going to be commuting or going to shops, or even if you just think you're going to use it for a picnic, you need to consider how you're going to carry stuff. Everyone thinks of a backpack, but on a bike, think about that added height and weight further up. It doesn't give you a really sweaty back if you're doing anything major. So I would consider panniers or a basket. Panniers go on a rack on the back of your bike, which makes the weight just a little bit more stable and it doesn't move around just so much. Thirdly, you need to think about if you're going to have children, where they're going to go. Are they going to be on their own bikes? Are they going to be on a bike seat in front of you or behind you, or a trailer? Think about where they're going to go, think about what extras you might need there. Okay, so at the moment the weather is lovely. It's not wet, it's nice and dry, but it's Northern Ireland. That's going to change. So we want you to consider your mud flaps and chain guards. Some of the step-through bikes will come with that as standard, but if they don't, think about getting some. You can get them relatively cheap, really easy to fit, and they would highly highly recommend them because they'll keep you just a little bit drier if it has been wet and a little bit cleaner if it is wet. Lastly, on those added extras you might consider, we hope you ride your bike all summer. Coming into the autumn when it's starting to get a bit darker and things are starting to change, consider lights. There is a huge possibility of what sort of lights you could go for. I'm not even going to start recommending them, but have a look, think about what you want. 2 things to throw up at the end for consideration is if you're a key worker, check out the Sustrans Key Workers campaign. There's loads of resources on there and places you can get bikes. The other one is to consider if your workplace has a bike to work or a cycle to work scheme. Those will allow you to buy a bike and pay it back a little every month. So good luck. Let us know if you have any questions on Facebook and Twitter or the community's email address below the YouTube video. We want to know if you buy a bike and if you find this useful.